Welcome to the first ever episode of the Barroom Boys podcast. I'm Johnny Mondo here with Ryan Hodska and Jack Braverman. Let's get into it. So basically, what is the Barroom Boys podcast?
What is it?
That's honestly a good question.
Because honestly, we don't know what the hell it is either. We just know it's about sports and having fun talking about it. That's all we got for you so far.
Best way you can describe it is shit that you would talk about at a bar with a bunch of your boys.
And hence the name. So quick background on how we got this name. In college, the three of us were in the same fraternity. And in our fraternity house, we have the bar room. And we began playing a lot of beer games there sophomore year and eventually coined the team name, or I don't know, what would you say, group name?
More of a collective.
A collective.
Yeah, more of an exclusive group.
Yeah, an exclusive group. That's the best way to put it. We called it the Barroom Boys, and we kind of stuck with it ever since, right? I mean, that was
what,
3 years almost?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at the founding fathers of it. So
yeah, well, the criteria for the Barroom Boys was very selective. You had to be playing beer games in the barroom past a very late hour, which we hadn't determined with a specific number, but it just had to be
kind of fluctuate
in the barroom past the hours of 2 a.m. when everybody is pretty much asleep and doesn't want anything to do with you guys.
Yeah. So that's playing beer games, listening to music, hanging with the boys. That's kind of where it all came from. We figured we put it into podcast format. Eventually we'll have some of the other members of the Barroom Boys roster come in for some interviews. But on today's episode, we're going to be talking the MLB Trade Deadline, as well as the NFL offseason, and wrap it up with the snake draft of the best gas station snacks. Now, let's start one thing here, boys. We picked the absolute worst time to start a podcast in sports.
Oh yeah.
The absolute worst.
I mean, there is nothing on, and I'm not a baseball fan, as you guys will probably come to learn. So I'm way out of my league when it comes to that. But there is fucking nothing on TV. It's boring to watch. It's so dry. I'm just waiting for early September when everything's back on.
Yeah, I think the best thing I watched on ESPN this month was the hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, for real.
By the way. Fantastic. Shout out Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, that was the best action I've seen in sports.
Oh,
chokehold scene around the world. Unbelievable
athlete.
Yeah, he's definitely a top athlete of our generation. No questions asked.
It's him, Nadal, and then Tiger Woods.
He's the goat of goats. I mean, he's the best to do a single sport.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
It's crazy to me how he can have a bad day and still dominate.
And still win by what, 18, 19 hot dogs?
Man was running on a broken leg.
Yeah, I mean, basically his flu game. It was crazy.
In 10 minutes. That's just ridiculous. Yeah.
I would hate to be that toilet. Let's just say that. The Nathan's hot dog.
He's got to have like a $10,000 toilet. Like, it's got to be a throne, solid gold. Like
his plumbing must be top level.
Oh, got it at that point.
I watched his interview the other day. It said it takes him like 3 to 4 days to kind of get back to normal and feel like decent. And I was like, damn, like I couldn't imagine feeling like shit after eating that.
I saw an interview with him where he first of all, he broke the record for most devil eggs eaten, something like, I think he was over 100, easy, almost 150 in about 8 minutes, straight up devil eggs.
Those farts must have been awful.
He said on the plane on the way home, he was like reeking the scent of deviled eggs.
Oh,
which is like absolutely disgusting. He was like sweating it out.
Ew. It wasn't even him letting it rip. He just smelled like shit.
Wasn't letting it rip. It was just the sweat from him. The perspiration was just reeking of eggs, which is not something you want when you're sitting middle row on a American Airlines flight back home.
Definitely not.
Sitting next to Joey Chestnut after a hard-fought victory.
Yeah, and then what's funny is like looks just like an average Joe kind of guy. Like he's not like the biggest person in the world. He's kind of short, like probably weighs around like 225 average, and he's just downs everything that he can like you can ever imagine.
It's
Heart of a
unreal.
lion, stomach
I-
of an
Yeah,
alien.
I know, and I was just looking it up. His career earnings at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest specifically has only been $140,000, which yeah is still a
Not
lot,
enough.
but that's
That
not
is
enough.
a highway robbery.
That
Yeah.
man brings all the eyes to Major League Eating. He deserves
That-
way more than
That
that.
just makes me pissed off. Seeing how much all these NBA players and MLB players, Kyler Murray gets $250 million, and
Juan
Joey
Soto
Soto,
turning down like a
the hero
$440
of
million
America's favorite
contract.
holiday.
I bet Kyler could only eat 2 hot dogs. He's a pussy.
Exactly. And this is the thing, like when it
Weak.
comes to like other sports where it's like basketball, baseball, football, even soccer, like you can name multiple athletes. Can you name another professional eater besides Joey Chestnut?
I can. Kobayashi.
Yeah.
But he wasn't in
Matt
the
Stoney too.
Okay. Can you name more than on the count of one hand?
I don't know.
No.
I can't. I
Exactly.
can't even name the
Oh.
woman that won, but she was nasty though.
Big Cat. Big Cat did it for an event.
Well, yeah.
We're at 4.
How many did he eat?
Well, yeah,
I
if you
don't
count,
know.
if you do that, then it's like you can count Chris Surio. I want to shout out Chris Surio, and then he won a calzone eating contest in college junior year.
No, shout out Chris Sirio for eating a whole calzone in under probably about 3 minutes.
3.5 minutes.
It's impressive. Couldn't be me.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the MLB trade deadline. I guess the biggest news coming out of the MLB, aside from the All-Star break, is Juan Soto is on his way out of DC. I mean, plain and simple, he's not sticking around. He did not want to get an extension. He said, F that. And now we have, I would say, a 4-team race in my eyes between the Yankees, Dodgers, Mets, and Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean,
And
talk
I don't
about
know. As far as Soto goes, this is definitely a down year for him by his standards. I mean,
Yeah.
he's still not bad at all if you look at the metrics, but definitely not his best showing. Has really been kind of screwing me in fantasy baseball, but it is what it is. I hope he becomes a future Yankee, though. I'll take that trade.
Well, the thing about Soto is that he's so young, but he's also so accomplished for his age. I can't really think of any other player in the league that has the resume that he has. So the big spenders are coming for him. I don't blame him at all for declining that huge deal that Washington was giving him. That is a long commitment for a team like the Washington Nationals, even though it is a lot of money. Being a Mets fan with our owner who's not afraid to spend the big bucks, I think we have a good chance. I think we have a real good chance at snagging him. Add another piece to our October run. We get DeGrom back in a few weeks, hopefully. And
get knocked out early. Typical Mets fashion. Maybe even miss out on the playoffs.
The Mets are a young team at their core, and I feel like they don't have the scar tissue that the team from 2015 had, getting absolutely dicked by the Royals in the World Series. We pretty much only have one pitcher from then, DeGrom. He's not even back yet, so we'll see. I don't know. I like where the Mets are at this point in the year. They've held strong at first place throughout the whole season. The Braves have been climbing back up on them, but they're staying strong. So I like what I'm seeing right now.
I think it would be typical Mets fashion to flatline in the second half, miss out.
Oh yeah, I think if the Mets flatline, I think Frank the Tank will flatline as well.
Yeah, that man will freak out even if it's like down 1 run in the middle of the game.
Tank for a second. How many glizzies do you think Frank the Tank would eat in a 10-minute hot dog eating contest?
He's gotta break double digits.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll give him 13.
the thing about him though is I think just like the whole atmosphere would be too much for him. You know, like the heat.
That
The
man
crowd,
thrives
like,
under
I think it would
pressure,
just get in
though.
his head.
I don't know. He does well with live crowds. We've seen him on the dozen. He does well when it's in person, but I don't know. The heat may be the killer for him. I don't think he'll
There's just
put that
something
many down.
something about him that makes me feel like he enjoys like taking his time with his food and enjoying the taste, you know, not just shoving it down his face. I feel like Frank is he's a food
He's a
what's the word?
connoisseur.
He's a connoisseur. Yeah, he's a food connoisseur.
Yeah. I guess going back to the Juan Soto in specifically in that whole trade, what do you think the contract is going to be on if he gets traded or when he gets traded at this point? Because if you turn down what $440 million, like it's going to be something ridiculous.
Well, the asking price that Washington was giving him was, I think, 30 mil a year.
Yeah,
something around there.
So he's probably gonna ask for probably around 35, right, Mondo?
I would say 35, and I would think that he would want less years on the contract. I mean, it's 14 years, a long time to be somewhere. I wouldn't want that.
That's an entire career right there. In the
Yeah.
MLB.
But I think one way or another, he's going to end up in New York. Hopefully he ends up in pinstripes, you know, standing strong in an outfield with Stanton and apparently Matt Carpenter this year. So we'll see what happens. We'll, I guess, keep track of the Juan Soto sweepstakes, but either way, it's going to take a lot of pieces in a trade, probably half a farm system from either of us. What do you think, Beef?
Hey, but let's not forget who Soto's agent is, Mr. Scott Boras, absolute dog in the boardroom.
He does have that dog.
He has gotten more money for his clients than I think any other agent in sports probably. So, good for Juan Soto. He's getting the bag either way. Congratulations to him. He's going to a contender. So we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, moving on to another outfielder on the market, we have Andrew Benintendi. Now, I'm kind of up in the air with this. The Yankees are serious contenders to get him. My only issue with that is his vaccination status does not let him go into Canada and play games. And the Blue Jays, the only Canadian team, are in the AL East. So I don't really want to see him on my roster. Obviously, I prefer Juan Soto, but Benintendi's going to be definitely tricky for whoever gets him because they're going to lose out. Depending on, you know, how playoff shapes up, they could miss a whole 3 or 4 games. So it could.
Oh, he's not going to Toronto now.
Yeah,
no, he's definitely not going to the Blue Jays. That's for sure.
I mean, but Benintendi, how old is he? He's still relatively young. I know I'm growing up when he was on the Sox. I was following him more than I do now. But I mean, he's a solid player, not really a special talent like Juan Soto, but he's still a good replacement in the outfield and a great pickup in the trade deadline. But does having him not be vaccinated, I guess, say he was to go to the Yankees for 3 games, I think the Yankees will do fine just because they have so much depth coming out of their bench that they can afford to rest him.
Yeah, but also we play the Blue Jays a couple more times this season. So it can impact the way this shapes up, especially if we want, you know, that number 1 seed. Like it could come down to a few games where if Benintendi's not there or available at all, then it could backfire on us. So realistically, Benintendi should be looking at NL offers kind of away from the Toronto area. That way he'll get maximized playing time. And the only chance he doesn't play at all come playoff time would be if the Blue Jays make the World Series, which I really don't see that happening this year. So
wouldn't that be a story?
That'd be nuts. So where do you think a landing spot besides the Yankees would be ideal for Benintendi at this point?
We got to see how the Juan Soto market plays out. Depending on where he ends up will influence where Benintendi and also JD Martinez end up. I honestly could see Benintendi going to the Mets. That's also another option. I know the Dodgers were kind of giving him consideration, although not as seriously.
I feel like the
But
Dodgers give
basically,
everyone consideration.
most teams could use Benintendi. So it just depends what the Juan Soto sweepstakes end up as. Simple as that.
Yep.
So yeah, JD Martinez, that's another guy that's probably going to be moved at the trade deadline, especially with the Red Sox looking as dog shit as they are this year. It's kind of nice.
What
Uh,
is going on with Boston right now?
I don't really follow them, but I had to throw on the game the other day to watch them lose 30-3 or some shit like that.
28-5.
Yeah, I couldn't even. I saw it was 25-3, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be funny to watch." I threw it on for like an inning, and then, yeah, that's
Oh, I was
about as much
loving
of the
it.
Red Sox I've watched this year.
I
So
think I rewatched the highlights of that game like 3 times the next day, just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So by what inning did they start? Did they stop using their actual pitchers?
I
I
have
don't.
no
Were
idea.
they just throwing
Well,
meatballs like past the 5th inning, or
I
what
mean,
was
it's.
going
I
on?
mean, it sounds like the first inning they just gave up.
I mean, they have the Sydney Sweeney curse on them now. It's crazy.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Bro, she threw out the first pitch, and now they've
She threw
been
out the first pitch
awful
that game?
ever since. Yeah, the first
Yeah.
pitch.
Wow.
She tweeted out something afterwards like, "Oh, you guys should have let me pitch all day." Just like absolutely.
Oh yeah,
destroying them.
sure. I mean, it probably would have been the same result. Honestly,
Hey,
it probably would have felt bad for her. Could maybe pop a couple fly balls in the outfield or lay down some bunts.
I mean, you
But,
definitely would have attracted a few more fans, but it is
I
what
mean,
it is.
yeah, but that game was embarrassing.
Tough to be a Boston fan in general these days.
Yeah, Boston's in
Yeah.
shambles. I see them kind of dismantling at the deadline in some way, whether it's JD, Devers, Xander.
I mean,
They gotta
Devers is
just
probably gonna
move.
stay,
Y-
and
you
he's
just
on the
don't
DL
know.
right now too, right? He just got put
Mhm.
on like this week.
Yeah,
I mean,
And,
they got off to a miserable start of the season, and then they
he
didn't.
brought it back a little bit. They were on a hot streak for a little.
I mean they're not in an easy division. You have the Yankees, you have the Rays, and even the Blue Jays are a dominant force. The Orioles have been on a winning streak. Like
Yeah,
it's the AL East is just a monster of a division, and the Red Sox are struggling to stay afloat just because of it.
I agree.
Definitely.
Yeah, something needs to happen though, whether it's management or coaching or just getting actual players that are consistent and not just streaky.
Yeah, there's definitely got to be a lot of changes made in Boston's future if they want to compete. But I see him blowing it up, honestly.
Yeah.
Start the rebuild.
Another 100 years.
Getting started now. Here we go. The Sydney Sweeney
Boston Red Sox,
curse.
2096 MLB champs.
You heard it here first, Barroom boys.
Yeah.
Baseball won't even be a sport by then. So
Lock it in. Place a future bet. You'll make your money. It's got to be plus to the moon right now. So get a good price.
All right, let's move to kind of the last big name I want to talk about before the deadline, and that is Reds pitcher Luis Castillo.
huge name.
This man is a beast. He's been hurt for a while this season, but he came back recently. He's been lights out. Yankees, Blue Jays, Mets, and Dodgers are all looking at him. I think he'll be a great fit on any 4 of those teams. Obviously, as a Yankee fan, I want him. I want everyone. That's just kind of the way we are. But he's a beast. He's a young kid who's going to do great things throughout the rest of his career. I just hope to see him in pinstripes too with Soto.
I mean, let's talk about how every trade deadline that seems to be the 4 or 5 biggest spenders doing the action. We need more parity in the MLB. We need to see a billionaire owner buy a shitty, irrelevant team in a non-market
Someone
start
buy the Athletics.
buying
Give
some
Oakland a
stars.
shot.
Jeff Bezos, he's from Washington. Why can't he buy the Mariners? Get them
Yeah.
all the young studs.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Baseball
why can't
definitely has a
Cincinnati
lot to do.
win games?
Yeah, baseball needs an overhaul in just about every sense of the word. They're kind of, they're definitely not dead, but it's been tough to watch this year. You know, there's been controversy with baseball's getting changed, offensive numbers are down. The one thing that they're really doing right for next season is they're getting rid of the shift, which should bring back a little bit of offense to the game. But it's been a tough year to watch baseball, and that's coming from someone who usually watches every game. So
Yeah. I mean, it's just a dry kind of sport to watch in general. Like you're looking at and comparing it to other sporting events that are a lot faster pace, quick, and not as much downtime in between innings and a lot of commercial breaks when it comes to baseball. They need to do something to just amp it up and make it so if you're watching on TV or on your laptop or somewhere, it's more entertaining and more valuable that people will want to watch it.
Yeah, we'll see what they do this offseason to kind of switch things up. But yeah, right now we're in the dog days of summer, so it's kind of hard to be big baseball guys, but we're doing our best. Only 49 days till football, so that's one thing we can look
Huge.
forward to.
Ball is back.
And we got a couple big stories that just dropped today that we want to talk about. The first thing, Mr. Julio Jones is now a Buccaneer. What do we think about that?
It's crazy.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
I mean, that wide receiver room is, when healthy, stacked. How do you guard Mike Evans, Julio Jones, and Chris Godwin, and even Russell Gage at the same time?
You just can't.
With Tom Brady throwing the ball, the greatest quarterback of all time throwing the ball, it's over. Like,
I mean, safe to say NFC South's locked up. That's for sure.
yeah.
I don't see any other team competing. Even the Saints, no shot.
Well, I mean, the Saints, they have made moves of their own this offseason, and they do have the Buccaneers number in recent years. Jameis Winston is back and healthier than ever.
Jameis,
he's giving his motivational speeches to his players. He's working on his football knowledge. You know, we might not see a 30-30 year. We might see a 30-20 year, which could be great for Jameis.
I mean, do we have a Michael Thomas update? Is he even alive? What's going on with him? Is he like coming back?
I bet he's still a 99 in Madden.
He probably is.
He's practicing. I don't know if he's going to be able to play week 1, but I mean, their wide receiver room has been upgraded with the draft pick, Chris Olave, as well as the offseason addition of Jarvis Landry, which I basically forgot about until like 2 seconds ago. But he's a good slot guy. So Jameis can do basically what he did on the Bucs and throw for 400 yards a game and like 3 touchdowns, but limit the amount of picks. They could be decent. They could be a wild card team.
They still have Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, I mean,
he had a mix-up with the law just after last season ended, but he seems to be doing all right now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the NFL. They tend to overlook that, so it's okay.
Yeah,
he'll play all the games this year.
There's no suspension for beating the guy senseless, but that's how it works.
Yeah, but going back to the Julio thing, do you guys think he'll be the same Julio that we saw in Atlanta for all those years, or do you think he'll be the same washed up Julio that we saw in Tennessee last year?
I wouldn't call him washed up, but he'll definitely have a lesser role compared to, how he was in Atlanta.
Well, yeah.
He'll still have a great role. He'll do his role well. It's what he does. He always finds a way to fit in, but he's never going to be that number one superstar that we
Hall of Fame worthy. Yeah, I agree. I mean, he was he played in 10 games last year, had like 460 yards and like 2-3 touchdowns, which for Julio Jones is like, what the hell? But I think if he could stay healthy, he'll be a good addition to that Bucs team and just drawing people, like making them have to cover him. Because I mean, how are you going to be able to guard Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette, and Julio Jones at the same time when they're going out of the backfield?
Yeah,
I
I feel
mean,
bad for those DBs in practice.
he spreads the field, which is what Tom Brady likes. So honestly, look for a huge year out of Tom Brady, even though he's half retired, half not at this point. So
Yeah, they got Kyle Rudolph in the offseason too, who's coming
Mhm.
towards the end of his career, but he's hungry, never really won anything in Minnesota because it's Minnesota. So he wants that chance.
yeah.
I could
I
see
mean-
Julio being like a very similar to OBJ on the Rams in terms of production. They're not the same receiver by any means. Julio's a little bit bigger, more physical, a little stronger, and also a little older. But I think, I mean, everything is going right for him. Being in Tampa, being with Tom Brady, being in that receiver room. I think he's poised for not a huge year, but probably like a 600 to 800 yard year with plenty of receptions, a couple touchdowns, and
I
that'll be
think he's going to be a big red zone threat. I expect a lot of like Tom Brady to Julio Jones 4-3 2-yard touchdowns
Mhm.
getting alerted on my phone come October and November.
Yeah, the Bucks are just, I mean, they're probably the most sound team in the NFL. From the weapons to the QB, their O line's unreal. Their entire defense is ridiculous.
Defense is ridiculous. I think that's the most slept about when you're talking about the Bucks. Their defense, they've got some big names and also some very young and talented guys.
Mhm.
I mean, they've got some monsters on that team. I mean, Vita Vea alone is ridiculous.
He is nuts.
And he's only like 26.
Yeah. Another big story. Joe Burrow, emergency appendectomy today. How about that? I mean,
Prayers up
that's
for Joe
crazy.
Burrow. Prayers
Joe
up.
Burrow.
The appendix is no joke.
Yeah, I mean, he's only going to miss a couple practices. He'll be fine by the start of the season, but you hate to see that out of a superstar QB like him so early.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it'll really hinder his performance, but you never know. I mean, it's very early to tell that. But I mean, we wish him a speedy recovery, and I think he'll still be putting up Joe Burrow numbers like he did last year and keep improving on his game.
Hey,
I
bro,
think he'll be fine.
those Bengals those all white uniforms with
Those are clean as
those are the cleanest ones I've seen.
the helmets are ridiculous. They need to do more of those throwback alternate helmets because those are sick.
Well, they've introduced a lot of them. I know the Eagles have a pretty cool one. The Jets have a nice one. The Patriots have their throwback helmet.
Yep.
Like there's
Giants
a lot of
bringing
cool
back
ones.
the 80s jerseys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want teams to be more original and come and bring back more of those alternate uniforms because you've seen some in the past, like you've seen the some just come to mind, the navy and yellow Packers jersey, the Bumblebee Steelers jersey. Like, just bring like a cool like atmosphere to the game. If you're just watching on TV, like that's an appealing jersey, and people will want to buy that. Fans will want to buy those types of jerseys if people are playing in them more often. So hopefully we'll see some cool jersey designs and throwbacks this year instead of the just basic color rush jerseys, which are cool, but
Nah, bro, they're lame as hell.
Some of
I'm
them are
so
cool.
over
They're
it.
very hit or miss.
I'm so over Color Rush. That shit sucks now.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is a big move by the NFL. They've historically been unnecessarily strict on these types of things. So to see him
for no reason too.
The jersey with an alternate helmet too, it's exciting. Although some teams, it could be argued they don't need an alternate helmet. Like the Bears, they have an all orange helmet, which I think looks a little disgusting. But, they're the Bears and they're figuring things out right now. So we'll give them some time, I guess, over there on that end.
Yeah. They need a lot of work to do.
Yeah, another team that's pretty well known for their interesting uniforms is the Seattle Seahawks, where we have another big story coming out of there. Chris Carson been released and probably retiring due to injury. What do we think?
That's a crazy story that came out today. Carson, 27 years old, relatively young, kind of almost in his prime, except just injuries. And the neck injury is very serious. You've seen all of the NFL players, especially the retired ones and people that have retired early, mainly talking about their own health and how the mental damage they've been taking from shots to the head and neck area and all the CTE that have been done and scanned in brains from retired athletes. I think it's a good move for him personally. I mean, him getting released, he's getting millions from the NFL as opposed to Seattle just paying out his contract. So,
Beef?
Yeah, I definitely caught it as a surprise. Chris Carson, he has been a solid running back his whole time in the NFL. I believe he's only been in the NFL 4 or 5 years. He's been decent in fantasy, dependable RB2 for the most part.
when he's healthy, yeah.
So, this is kind of a tough loss. Looking at his stats right now, he had 2,000 plus yard seasons. He was very productive in his time. He played in a couple playoff games. His quarterback was Russell Wilson, played on a good team, wore some clean uniforms. When I think of Chris Carson, I think of those neon green Seattle Seahawks jerseys, which are always clean. But yeah, sad to hear Chris Carson will no longer be on an NFL roster. He was a pretty solid running back, but running backs don't last long in this league, and especially a guy like his caliber, it's surprising to see a career cut so short.
Yeah. It almost makes you think that if Seattle knew something before that they announced it today, like they kind of like knew that he was kind of towards the end of his career, because didn't they draft Kenneth Walker III in the draft?
Talk about a steal. That man went in the late second round?
Yeah, and I think he's going to be there RB1 this year, and especially that Carson's out. I mean, I don't know really Seattle. I'm not too familiar with Seattle's background besides Carson and Kenneth Walker.
I'm all aboard the Kenneth Walker train. I think that man was disrespected in college. I think he was disrespected at the combine and the draft. I think he's going to be a beast. He was a beast at Michigan State. He tore apart Michigan.
He was, yeah. He was
Mr. Aiden Hutchinson, who I think is probably the most overrated top draft pick in recent memory.
Talk your shit, Beef.
Kenneth Walker. Look out for him. Kenneth Walker, number 9.
Yeah, I mean, simply comes down to Chris Carson's play style. Dude's a physical running back. You just can't last long with injuries if your play style's like that. I mean, tough to see. I was a big fan of his. Picked him up several times for fantasy football, but just a damn shame. Another running back on too early. I guess let's take a look at the NFL season. Anything we're excited about? It's on you guys' mind. Beav, I know you're big thinking up there. What you talking about
I'm just
these
excited.
days?
I'm excited for opening kickoff. Preseason, I could give.
What a game, by the way, too.
What's the game? What's the kickoff game?
Isn't
But you're so excited, though.
Isn't it Rams Bills? First game of the season, Rams Bills, like potential Super Bowl matchup.
I will take a Rams Bills matchup to open up the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be electric. It always is the first game of the year when it's two teams like that. I think it's going to be like a high 30, like a 38-35 type game. A lot of offense, not much defense, and just see that football is back.
But I do have high hopes for the season. I think it's going to be great. Every football season is, with its own individual storylines and buffoonery. I think the Giants, I think that you like that word, Mondo, buffoonery.
That's a nice one out of you. Big vocab word for you, B.
I have high hopes on the Giants this year. I think they're finally putting Daniel Jones in a position to succeed.
He sucks.
And he hasn't been in his first year in the league.
Bro, Daniel Jones is trash. Get that out of here.
Hey, this
Put in
year
a position to succeed. Are you kidding me?
Look,
Like,
Daniel
it's
Jones has
It's like
had,
saying, bro, Mike Lennon, he's a superstar. Like,
Yeah.
He's got the right
So,
pieces now.
That's like basically saying like, okay, like guys, we built a great team around Nathan Peterman. The O line's improving. Like he's put the 6 interception game behind him, and he's ready to roll this season.
Look, the Giants didn't build any. They didn't add any offensive weapons for Daniel Jones, but Saquon is back and healthy. That should be inspiring to anyone who just loves football. Everybody loves Saquon Barkley. Want to see him back on the field.
Back last year too.
Yeah,
Well,
not really.
not
Drafted
really.
him in the first round last year. Basically, a wasted pick.
You know, they drafted Evan Neal, who is a huge man.
He is a big guy.
Yes.
Yes.
Drafted an O lineman last season, gave up 2 sacks in 13 games last season. Andrew Thomas out of Georgia.
That's
Also,
pretty. You would never know that considering how bad Daniel Jones played. I feel like he got sacked every play.
Yeah, well, you know, you have to factor in multiple things besides Daniel Jones' quarterback play. You have to factor in the O line. You got to factor in the head coaching, to which Daniel Jones has had, I think, could be wrong, but I'm going to say 3 head coaches in his tenure as the New York Giant. So we'll see. You know, the Giants, we got Dable from Buffalo. He can call some plays. He let Josh Allen sling it over there in Buffalo. So hopefully we can see some of those same things in New York. We got the new offensive coordinator, former quarterback coach with Kansas City.
Yeah.
So, same QB room as Mahomes. We got little Josh Allen pedigree. So Daniel Jones, if he doesn't win, I'd say let's say 6 or 7 games this year, then he's a bust, and I good riddance to him. But I think this is
fair.
This is his year. This is his year to prove it.
I feel like he's got a decent amount of weapons. I mean, Galladay from last year isn't what he was on the Lions, but hopefully maybe he'll have a bounce back year. They still have Darius Slayton, who's relatively young. He's pretty good.
They lost
Kadarius Toney.
Jacksonville Jaguars, so any tight ends on the market will welcome you. I think they worked out Eric Ebron yesterday, so I mean we'll take what we can get at this point. But
building the 2015 Lions, they just need Matt Stafford and Calvin Johnson now.
Yeah, right.
I think the Giants need to use Kadarius Toney more. Hopefully he'll stay healthy. He's fun to watch. Human joystick. Shout out him.
Yeah. All right. That's enough Giants talk.
Bro, can we stop gassing this man up? The Giants are terrible, bro.
You know what?
So bad.
Not to stay biased. I mean, yeah, they fucking suck. Like, I'm just not.
The Giants have sucked the last few years.
Yeah, you guys listed so many pros that'll get them fucking 4 wins this year.
Hey, well,
I was, you know what?
They're trying.
I was trying to be like the respectful, maybe like trying to help them out, get their fans excited for their 5-12 win season that's going to come up here. So, you know what? I'm just trying to give the Giants faithful some hope going into the season.
Well, I think they open up against Tennessee, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, that's a loss. Derrick Henry, he's going to run like 250 yards.
I mean, let's break down the Giants' schedule this year. All right, let's take a look. Someone keep track of the amount of wins I give them.
Yeah, I got it too. If you just read the teams, we go W or L. It's that simple.
Okay, that's preseason. Week 1, Titans.
L.
Week 2,
yeah, that's an
Panthers.
L. Tennessee. Panthers, you're telling me they can't beat the Panthers? They beat
Panthers,
them
I think they could. Is that game at home?
They beat them last season.
It's at MetLife.
I think that could be a win.
They're 1-1.
I'll give you the Panthers. Cowboys.
Never beat Dallas. No, we never beat Dallas early.
Bears.
That's a W. I hope that's a W. If that's not a W, then I'm sorry.
Packers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Packers losing to the Packers.
Ravens.
That's an L.
Jags.
That's a toss-up. That's a coin flip.
You're in a coin flip with the Jaguars. I want this on record.
I mean, they both
just
suck.
so you know where your franchise is at.
I'll give them. We've only given them. Yeah, I'll give them. They'll start 2-4. Yeah.
What?
Look at this
They'll
next
start
stretch of 3
2-4.
games here, week 9 through 11. Houston, Detroit. Oh, I'm sorry.
Your bye week's
Seattle,
9.
Seattle, Houston, Detroit. That's 3 wins in a row.
You might fuck around and lose the bye week too.
Yeah, there's a possibility.
Look, I don't know. With this schedule, I see the Giants going 7 and 7-10. That'd be a good season.
Be a good season, huh?
I'm happy with 7-10. Now, if the Giants are 7-10, do they keep Daniel Jones?
No.
I think it has to do with how quarterbacks have played this year, which teams are willing to try to chip away from, move on from their current quarterback, and see how the college football pans out. See if there's any quarterbacks worth taking early. Free agency, obviously, next year, but
The answer is no.
yeah.
If you want a franchise QB, you have to get rid of Daniel Jones. This is his last year as a Giant, and maybe as a starter in the league in general.
I mean, I think the epitome of his career was the one play where he broke away on like the 10-yard line, had like a free 90-yard touchdown, and then ate shit, tripped on a tumbleweed and fell at the 10-yard line.
You're telling me the play of his career isn't the one-handed catch?
Bro,
No.
This man's a modern day Mark Sanchez.
Yeah. Just so happens that he also plays at MetLife in New York.
Beeve, I love the false confidence, buddy. I really do.
You know, as a fan, you want nothing but the best for your team. The Giants have been a shooter. They've been an absolute dumpster fire the last 3-4 years. I just want to see some wins. It's tough when you turn on football on Sunday and you watch all these other great teams just absolutely slinging it, and then you look at your Giants with 50 yards of total offense. It's
That's
tough.
why you turn on Red Zone.
Tough.
Mhm.
So this year, I hope it's something different.
Yeah. Can't not root for your team. So, yeah, I mean, go Pats, but it's plain and simple.
Yeah, so out of 3 of our favorite teams, the Dolphins are going to be the best. You heard it here first.
Well, we know that Tua is now the most accurate quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, and probably NFL history.
Yeah,
If
the
I was
fastest weapons on the planet.
I mean, if I was being paid as much as Tyreek Hill, I could easily say those 5 words, that he's the most accurate quarterback.
Look, just because you can't name your receiving core
I
doesn't
can
mean
name-
my offense is bad.
I can name our receiving core. What are you talking about? We got Devontae Parker, who's probably going to suck. We got rid of N'Keal Harry.
I agree with that. Parker is horrible.
We got rid of N'Keal Harry, so we're probably going to make the Super Bowl now, because that man was a complete waste of space, dog shit. Get him out of the fucking locker room. Thank fuck. But we still got Jacoby Myers, solid slot guy. We lost. Do we still have Aguilar? I can't remember. One of Aguilar or Dorsett left. I don't know which one, but we still have one of them. But I was really hoping we'd sign one guy in the offseason that's just like more of an Devontae Parker type guy. That's a lot better than him. But
Do the Patriots have any white receivers in the room anymore?
yeah, Gunnar Olszewski.
All right. Yeah, watch
That's
out
a
for him.
dope ass name.
Yeah.
Receiver named Gunnar. I bet he is killer on special teams.
He is. Him and Matt Slater, big names. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, you never know what moves can be made during the season. I think a guy like Odell Beckham could be a great fit for the Patriots this year, just for the current team needs, even though he is coming off an ACL injury. But I would like to see some sort of, not even a big name, but like someone like that would come in and just shake things up, give Mac Jones some more options to throw the ball, because I love Mac Jones, but we can't rely on running the ball like we have in the past. So he's got to be confident on 3rd down that he can sling it 20 yards. So
I agree. Mac Jones definitely could use a few more options.
yeah. I mean, Hunter Henry's a solid tight end. Nothing wrong there. But we need another receiver that can make plays. That someone on third down, big game, fourth quarter, you're looking at him to throw the ball to, get it in his hands, make a play. We don't have that right now. But I'm confident in the season. We lost JC Jackson on defense, which is a shame, but I'm confident that we still got the best coach in the league. So make something happen. He's got a plan.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he's planning to finish third in the division.
Yeah, behind the Jets and the Bills.
Excuse me? No, just because Zach Wilson got that dog in him doesn't
They're-
mean
they're
they're
going
going to
undefeated.
be top 4.
They're going undefeated.
No, they're not.
There's no questions asked, but I think the Dolphins, it all depends on Tua. If Tua is the same Tua that we saw in the past, then I'm sorry, you're not going to be good. But I'm curious to see how he uses the amount of speed that he has in his wide receiving core, because Tyreek Hill and Waddle are probably two of the fastest receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins are coming off a season where they almost made the playoffs. Now they have an offense that's built for separation, which is exactly what Tua needs. As long as he can hit deep balls, hit the man in stride, the Dolphins could potentially be a team not to be messed with. I mean, their defense is a top team in terms of takeaways. As long as the offense can control the flow of the game, give the defense some rest when it needs it, that we could be looking at a playoff season. Not necessarily Super Bowl, but this could be a strong building year for the Dolphins, and I'm looking forward to it. The speed we have is just unmatched in the NFL, and I'm just excited to see it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you guys splashed out in the offseason, a lot of acquisitions. The one thing I was kind of confused on is why you brought in so many running backs. The signing of Raheem Mostert from the Niners, Chase Edmonds came in. So now you got a backfield of Gaskin, Edmonds, and Mostert. Who do you think's going to be like the bell cow there, or is there going to be a bell cow?
I think that they're all going to get their fair share.
Like hot hand
Edmonds is
kind of style?
definitely, hot hand. Edmonds is definitely going to be more of a receiving back.
Third down guy.
Gaskin's going to be essentially, I guess, the workhorse out of all of them. And Mossert's, you're going to see him coming on like an end around type thing.
Speed demon.
He's built for speed. So look for him on jet sweeps, stuff like that. It just depends kind of how the plays are drawn up, who he wants to feed, and who's got the hot hand, like you said. So I'm excited to see how it plays out. Hopefully it works. I like Shanahan so far. So
Nice. Oh yeah, NFL almost back, counting down the days.
Almost. When does preseason's got to start soon, right?
Preseason's probably starting soon. Hard Knocks coming up. Fantasy football drafts will start to happen over the next month and a half. So
wow. I said Shanahan. I meant Mike McDaniel. I had Mike Shanahan in my head. I meant Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel.
That's my bad.
can't even
It is what it
remember.
is. Hey, first year coach. It is what it is. But I had the idea right in my head.
Yeah. That.
Yeah, so what are we kind of looking at? Who's your Super Bowl team right now?
Think just overall, I think a sleeper team. I'll get into that after. I think the Rams, just their lineup is ridiculous.
Are you calling the Rams a sleeper team?
No, I was gonna get into my sleeper team in a bit. I mean, the Rams, reigning Super Bowl champs, their defense alone, and their offense is good, but their defense just alone is ridiculous. I mean, and then you get Cam Akers back this year, back into the mix. So I think they're going to be right where they were. They did lose Robert Woods in the offseason, but they brought in Allen Robinson. So I'm curious to see how he plays out there, because he had a pretty bad season last year. But I think a sleeper team this year could be the Chargers. I really like Justin Herbert. I think he is gonna have a monster year like he did last year and prove a lot of people wrong. He's got a good receiving core. Keenan Allen kind of had an off year. If he figures out the drops, then he'll be good. But they made some monster offseason acquisitions, mainly on their defense, signing J.C. Jackson and bringing in Khalil Mack. So I think that
The AFC West is looking absolutely nice.
loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Loaded. That's going to be the division where you can right now flip a coin and you probably wouldn't know who's going to win the division right now.
Yeah, coming out of the AFC West, my sleeper team's the Raiders. You got a powerhouse offense now that, can basically carry that whole team.
I'm curious to see how Devontae Adams fits in there. I want to know if he's going to be the same. I don't think he's going to be the same Devontae Adams that we've seen, but he's, I think, still going to have a good year, but not in terms of what we saw like last year and the years past, where he's been an absolute monster with Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. But you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Kind
I
of
think
early.
Devontae Adams can get open against any DB, and most NFL quarterbacks, especially Derek Carr, should be able to find him in stride. Especially, I think Adams and Carr went to college together. They're college teammates.
Yeah, UNLV, right?
I don't think it was UNLV. I think it was like Fresno State or something.
Oh yeah, it was Fresno State. You're right. Yep.
So they got that going for them. They got Renfro, who is I think Belichick's the perfect Bill Belichick receiver.
Yeah, I can't figure out Josh Jacobs on their offense though.
He's the receiving back. I mean, that's all I can really come up
Josh
with
Jacobs
for
a
him.
receiving back? I thought
That's what I think.
Who was the guy that they signed last year from Arizona? The
Was
young
it
guy.
Kenyon Drake?
Kenyon Drake. Yeah, I thought he was.
I mean, I don't know. You could do one way, one the other, and vice versa. Like, they're honestly interchangeable.
Yeah.
I guess it's similar to Miami, who's got the hot hand.
Yeah, I mean, you still got Darren Waller, top tight end, one of the top tight ends in the league. Defense looks slightly improved from last year, so you never know. I mean, playing the Broncos, Chiefs, and the Chargers twice is tough.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Chiefs got their work cut out for that, man. I know still solid with that young core, but losing Tyreek is huge. And that division, a lot of high flyers.
I mean, they brought in some speed though. I mean, Juju obviously is no Tyreek Hill, but he's been decent in the past. I know he had a couple good years earlier in his career. Last couple, not so much. But hopefully, if he returns to what he was when Big Ben was younger, in his rookie and second year, then he could be good. They got Marquez Valdez-Scantling, speed demon, deep threat option. So
that's an interesting division. I could see a team in that division being under 500 in the division and still making the playoffs.
That's the thing. I feel like either all of them are going to be like 10-7, like 11-6, or they all could be like 7-8, 9, and like around there. And it's like going to come down to the final 2 weeks for which two teams. I think two teams in that division will make the playoffs. I think one will be a wild card, but it's going to be what two teams.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting NFL season. That's for sure.
Yep.
Definitely different compared to years past. A lot of moves this year. So
it has been. So we will see.
All right, boys. Is it time?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
It's time.
Ready for the snake draft?
Let's get it. All right, snake draft time. Best gas station snacks. 3 snacks, 1 drink. How do we want to determine this order?
I don't know. You've determined. Why don't you just like kind of moderate it and be like the person that swiftly moves on and like can keep track of it, so you can make the order. Maybe do it like how you see everyone on our Zoom screen. I don't know.
Okay, so it'd be Beeve 1, me 2, you 3. That's how it kind of looks to me right now.
Sure.
So Beeve, let's see it.
All right, so it's a late night. I'm hungry. I have been driving all night to get to my destination. I stop off at a gas station. The lights are so bright. I've been driving in this dark car all night. Walk into this gas station, the lights are coming down on me. It's like everything is just all these snacks are staring at me. I only got one choice. What do? I walk straight to the candy aisle and I pick out the longest Milky Way bar that they got in that goddamn store. And I shove it down my face with a refreshing drink that we'll get to later. But my first pick in the snake draft is gotta be good old fashioned Milky Way. The caramel, the chocolate, the ease it goes down. There's nothing better. There's nothing better than a Milky Way.
Well, as I pull into the gas station, I also entered the candy aisle. As I look to my left and watch Beeve make the mispick of the century, I'm like, chocolate's not a bad idea though. But you know what? I don't just want chocolate. I want something mixed in with it. So I look down, I see a beautiful orange package. Give me the Reese's peanut butter cups.
Solid pick. That was on my list.
King.
Everyone loves Reese's. I think what's more elite than a Reese's peanut butter cup is the holiday Reese's that they come out with, like the Easter egg for Easter, the Christmas tree. Those hit different.
Those are gas. Christmas
like
tree and egg are the. Is there any other ones in that when they do holiday?
They do
They do a
Valentine's
pumpkin
hearts.
one.
They do. I think they do. Probably the main ones, like those four. I don't think they do a Thanksgiving one. But all right, I guess with my first pick and the third pick, I guess we'll keep it in the candy aisle. I mean, I have back-to-back picks, so it doesn't really matter the order in which I pick them, but I know which two I'm picking. So I guess this first one will keep in the candy aisle. Kind of a different approach than you guys, though. It's not a chocolate candy. I like something more sweet, more sour. I'm a sour guy.
Oh, sweet then sour?
Give me Sour Patch Kid watermelons.
Sour then sweet.
Oh, that's a great pick.
Sweet.
Okay, can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
So I was arguing with Lip the other day. This was actually like a month ago. And we were arguing. We had our girlfriends there. Sang was there with his girl. And the question was, is chocolate considered candy?
I think it depends. I think if it's like mixed, like if it's a chocolate bar, like say good old fashioned like Hershey's, like straight up normal chocolate, I wouldn't consider it candy.
Wow.
But I think like when it comes to like M&Ms or something like that, where it's like kind of chocolate mixed in with something, I think M&Ms are considered candy.
Wow. Where do you draw the line?
That's the thing. I think if it's just straight chocolate, I would say.
But M&Ms are straight chocolate.
But yeah, I mean, I guess they are, but just they have the coloring on it.
To me, a Hershey bar, that's a piece of candy, right?
Okay.
Like, I don't know. What something that would not be considered candy would be like fudge chocolate or like
Well, yeah, I agree.
anything that is not like packaged chocolate, like a Hershey Kiss. I think that's even candy.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And I think if you ask the CEO of Hershey, I think he would say that his product is candy.
Well, yeah, they're all candy bars technically.
That's an interesting point you make there, Hod, because I've never really, and Mondo, I've never really thought of chocolate as not being candy.
I don't know. I just think like that. Like a lot of the times, chocolate is mixed in with stuff now. I mean, I couldn't tell you the last time I just had like a Hershey's chocolate bar. I usually get like a Milky Way or a Snickers or a Twix or something like that when it comes to candy
Notice
bars.
how he didn't say Reese's.
Yeah, I mean,
Said Milky Way.
I was just naming candy bars. I mean, Reese's, I wouldn't even call it a candy bar, but I would consider those all like candies because it's like mixed in, has other flavoring but chocolate. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not a chocolate expert by any means.
All right, so I guess this could be our first question to the listeners.
Is
I mean,
chocolate.
it's a touchy subject, bro. Like, people
I mean, you
take a
brought up the
firm
question.
stance on this.
You brought up the question. What's your opinion on it?
I said it was candy. Lip said firmly that it was not candy. I disagree because, like, when you say you go down the candy aisle, you're not saying you go down the chocolate and candy aisle. But, like, bro, I don't know. It's like I never thought about it.
There's also like different types of candy when you do like the gummies, like Sour Patch and Swedish Fish. Then you have like the chocolatey ones. Then you have like some other shit. So, yeah.
I think if chocolate is packaged into identifiable brands that we recognize, candy. If you go to a chocolate factory where they have only chocolate, like chocolate boxes, different types of chocolate and all that type of shit, then I consider that to be chocolate, not candy.
Yeah.
That's the line.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess bringing it back to the draft.
Sorry.
It's all good. I mean, I've been waiting to make my second pick. It's probably been waiting to get off the board anyway. But second pick, I'm stepping outside the candy aisle. Just because I want to spice it up and not make this just like a candy draft. Get something that is good. I really like it. I'd say it's pretty popular. Beef jerky.
Beef jerky. Yeah.
Off
I
the
forgot
board.
about that one.
The hearty snack. It's a little expensive, so if I'm feeling myself, then yeah, I'll go beef jerky.
That's the thing is when you go to a gas station late night, you're not really looking to spend a lot of money. Beef jerky, you buy a bag of beef jerky and a drink. You're walking out of the gas station spending close to $20. And that that's not
what kind of gas station do you go to?
Hey, inflation is crazy.
Beef's got a bougie gas station.
Yeah.
You buy a
What
beef
the
bag
hell?
of beef
When I
jerky-
was talking expensive, I was thinking like $7-8 for beef jerky.
No, I've never seen beef jerky that cheap, bro. A bag is like $12 minimum.
Maybe at an airport.
Maybe I'm getting my beef jerky at the airport. I haven't bought beef jerky in a while. I don't know how the beef jerky economy is doing these days, but I'll take your word for it, Hot. If you say a bag of beef jerky is under $10, then I'll take your word.
Yeah, it's around. It's up there. It's up there for sure, but it's around $8-9. So, but yeah, I'll take beef jerky off the board. I think I got a strong 2 picks.
I mean, yeah, that's a solid one too. Now I'm also stepping outside the candy aisle now. I like a little crunch, that's just me. If I'm hitting a gas station, I'm definitely walking out with some sort of chip. And what better chip than some nacho cheese Doritos? The classics, you gotta love it.
You can't go
Definitely
wrong.
one of my go-tos. Nacho cheese Doritos off the board.
You cannot go wrong with nacho cheese Doritos.
There's no debate. Not even there.
Yeah, my second pick. This might not be high on everyone's list, but it's a personal favorite of mine. Especially down here in the Florida summers, it gets kind of hot. So there are days when I walk into the gas station and I'm craving one particular item, and it doesn't take too long to find it, and that would be an ice cream sandwich. More specifically,
Fuck you.
the Toll House cookies with
Fuck you. I thought.
top and bottom with the vanilla.
Yeah.
ice cream in the middle.
Yeah. No, I didn't think anyone would remember those, and I was gonna wait and steal that in the 3rd round.
Those go down quick, man.
That's a great pick. Great pick.
Those are good.
Yeah, you got 2 beef.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So I guess with my last snack here, simple-minded. Well, I guess I have 2, because this is my last pick. I'm gonna pick a hot take after this, but my third one's got to be Lay's barbecue. Similar to nacho cheese, you can't miss with Lay's barbecue. Everybody loves it.
Baked or no baked or not baked?
No baked. Baked loses a lot of the flavor, and it's what they served in school, so that it kind of gives bad vibes.
Fair. Like that.
Lay's BBQ, I need more calories. fuck baked. You know what I mean? Give me the calories. It's not even that big of a bag. I can take it. And then my hot take. You guys probably won't like this. Maybe some of our listeners will. I'm gonna say the snack pickle chips that they have in the bag. Those are good.
Well,
Yeah.
aren't you supposed to be taking a drink?
No,
That was I was like
back around to him. He's the last pick of the draft. He was just given an honorable mention.
Oh, word.
Yeah, no, I haven't given my drink yet.
Well,
Honorable mention to the pickle chip snacks, the hamburger chips. Yeah, those are good.
Okay. So if I get chips, sometimes I want a little, diversity in the bites. And one type stands out in particular. What?
Like this man likes his diversity.
Yeah, a little difference in, flavor or crunch. It's crucial for me. Chex Mix. Absolute banger at the gas station. Definitely one of my go-tos for sure.
Chex Mix.
That's fair.
What's your favorite? Chex?
I'm a big classic guy, but I also do like the cheddar ones.
No, I'm saying like, what's your favorite individual?
Oh, the what's the little brown potato chip looking thing? What's that called?
It kind of looks like bread. You mean?
Yeah, the like.
Well, you got the pretzel, then you got the
you got the Chex.
Gridded Chex. That's
then you got the little
spider,
squiggly thing.
and then you got
the brown potato chip.
Right.
I like the brown potato chip the most.
All right, I'll have to say for me, it's the yellow Chex. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The yellow Chex for me, not the brown Chex.
I don't like the brown Chex. Brown chip.
Brown chip, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to not like the brown
called?
chip, but it grew on me. So I'll give you that one.
You looking it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna lose my mind. With a rye chip. I like the rye chip.
Rye chip.
Are you guys big trail mix guys too? Or just Chex Mix kind of?
Depends on the day.
Yeah. Depends on the day. I prefer Chex Mix. Trail Mix, I feel like can get varied. Chex Mix, you know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. All right, but with my third pick, kind of go a little trip down memory lane with this one. Only played 1 year. It was a fun year. Little league baseball. Good vibes coming out after school on the weekends, hitting some probably ground balls and getting out or beating it out. That was fast.
I don't know. Based on your softball, I'd say strike out or walk.
Yeah, you know what? I was better back then because everyone else was kind of dog shit too. So, but with my third pick, I'm going straight sunflower seeds.
Oh,
an old bag of seeds.
Sunflower seeds.
Any particular flavor?
I'm a big fan of the OG ones just because of the nostalgia. But
that salty feel.
The ranch ones are good too.
Yeah, let me crack my fingers as a seed connoisseur. Buffalo style ranch.
Yeah, that one's fire.
Sweet and spicy. Barbecue, the ranch, and the original. 5 you cannot go wrong with.
Exactly.
Now, tell me about how you eat these sunflower seeds.
I was just about
in the mouth, or are you taking them out to open them?
Or just put them up his ass?
No.
Well, when I can go down a funny story. So when I was little and handed my first bag of sunflower seeds or handful, I did not know that you have to spit out the shell. So I just kind of swallowed it, and then I got called the weirdo. And my dad kind of yelled at me. So and then I learned how to properly eat them. But I just crack them inside my mouth and spit it out.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't know if I'm in the minority here, but I was never able to like crack it in my mouth. and spit the shell out properly.
So you like crack it like with your hands, kind of ish.
Yeah, what I did was like I sucked on it for a second, got all the flavor out, and then I took it out of my mouth, bit it, and then ate the seed and spit the shell out. But I couldn't do it in my mouth for some reason. Maybe I was never taught properly.
Fair enough. But yeah, seeds are definitely a good pickup at.
Seeds are in. I feel
Yeah.
like I wonder the demographic that eats and buys sunflower seeds that like aren't baseball players. Probably just like landscapers,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a
People
bunch
on
of
car
people-
rides.
beach goers.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't know if this is like, I don't think I've ever seen like a girl eat sunflower seeds. I don't know if it's just me or if it's just because of like kind of like a baseball thing, but I feel like a lot of it has to do with like the nostalgic baseball like feel, like when you were younger.
Mhm.
Are sunflower seeds sexist?
It's a good question, Beef. I mean, have you ever seen? And I probably am totally wrong here, but I've just like from my personal experience. never-
I think in
Softball
they-
players,
Yeah,
yeah.
they
Yeah, I
definitely-
guess. Yeah. Well, all right. Moving on to my fourth pick. And this one, probably no surprise for the people that know me. If I'm getting a drink, there's no better drink to get at a gas station. Well, I guess being from Connecticut, I can't even get this beverage at a gas station because it's fucking illegal to sell it there. But some good old fashioned, nice cold beer.
That's
Fair.
not bad. I mean,
pretty generic, I'd say.
I mean, yeah, it's generic, but I mean, some seeds and beer, you can't go wrong with that. If you're going to the gas station with your boys late night, pick up a case.
Kind of whatever you're feeling that day.
Yeah. I mean, I could just pick like a normal like Gatorade or some type of soda, or I was thinking 7-Eleven Slurpee, but I got to stick with who I am, my true roots. Go with beer.
yeah, I mean, not a bad pick unless you're on a drive, which is usually when I hit the gas station.
Not a good road
But-
trip selection.
Yeah.
Great for when you're not driving.
Yes.
Yeah. Or you already reach your destination and be like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to reward myself. Get a beer.
Well, I was definitely thinking beer. That's okay, because there's one other staple in my mind that like basically says gas station. When you're going to a gas station for snacks, you want something cheap. You want something quick. I mean, there's not many things that are cheaper than this particular drink. A staple of the gas station snack community, Arizona iced tea.
Yeah. Undefeated.
Unreal.
You know, my drink selection was also Arizona. I can't lie, but I had a dash next to it. Dash Arnold Palmer. Nothing like an Arnold Palmer. You get that half lemonade, half iced tea.
Undefeated.
Don't know
That's
which one to choose. Everybody loves both. You get them both together. It's like the nectar of the gods, created by Mr. Arnold Palmer himself. Absolute legend in the game.
Well, I want to play at a golf course that has like Arnold Palmer like water bottle refills. I
Oh,
saw
Yeah,
that.
you saw that video,
Yeah, that's sick.
bro. It's crazy.
I wouldn't leave that hole. I'd play that hole 18 times.
Well, when I'm working at the country club, whenever I get a drink, I always go to the drink machine. I get half iced tea, half lemonade.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
Great, it's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right.
And not to mention the fact that Arizona has been the same price since about the fucking Great Depression.
Yeah.
Factual.
So respect to Arizona for keeping their senses.
One of the realest out there, for sure.
Absolutely.
Mondo,
Them
you got
are
any?
realist out there?
Yeah. Mondo, you got any honorable mentions? I know Beeve kind of gave an honorable mention to the pickled chip things.
I do have a couple actually. So, as far as a drink goes, Glacier Freeze, Gatorade, I think that could have definitely been up there.
I mean, I
Um,
drank one like maybe an hour ago before we started recording. So
Talk
Yeah.
about refreshing.
Definitely the best Gatorade in my eyes.
I agree.
If you're not really about an Arizona or you're not drinking, it's got to be a Glacier Freeze. As far as snacks go, you got Takis, you got the smart food popcorn,
Mhm.
M&M's, Snickers, you got I had one more. Oh, and if you're talking like getting something like a meal from a gas station, like taquitos,
Yeah.
like that's definitely up there. But like I didn't think we were going that route, so I didn't choose it.
Yeah, I agree.
But there's definitely a lot of options. Like no orders the same at a gas station, so it's like
Yep.
pick what you want.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking Gatorade too, either Glacier Freeze or a throwback to either the Cool Blue or Fruit Punch Gatorade, but only with a nipple top.
Yeah,
Those
nipple
are
top's
undefeated.
crucial.
Undefeated. Shout out Ben and Jerry's ice cream. The little
Shout out Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
Good
I
one.
was thinking that.
The
I
half
was also
baked.
yeah. I was also thinking like the little dib things, like the ice cream balls that you find in the little freezer. Thinking obviously like pretzels. I think pretzels are low key underrated. I'm a big
Especially
pretzel fan.
chocolate covered.
I was just about to say. And then I guess just quick shout out to just regular baked Lays. If you eat yellow Lays, you're a fucking weirdo. But baked Lays, they just classic.
I
Yeah.
want to give a shout out to the turkey and cheddar sandwiches.
What?
Bro, this bougie ass gas station you go to,
Bro.
bro.
Are you kidding me? Bougie. Turkey and cheddar, they got them at the
You
fucking
get a turkey.
Circle K.
You get a turkey and cheese sandwich from Circle K.
Yeah, for like $4, bro. Anywhere, any gas station, they have turkey and cheddar sandwiches, bro. I'm not talking the whole deal with tomatoes and shit. I'm talking just the meat, the cheese, and the lettuce. If you're hungry, it's like 25 grams of protein. Just go in there, grab it off the shelf, and you down it in 30 seconds.
Then you're shitting the rest of the day. Gotcha.
No, you're not shitting from the turkey and cheddar, bro. You're shitting from the 20 snacks you got.
I don't think I can say I've had gas station turkey that's not like a sandwich from like behind the counter Wawa type beat. So
Wawa is different, but going to Circle K for a whole ass meal.
Bro, it's late at night and you're road tripping. You don't have the time to eat all these wrap meals. You just grab it out the box and you shove it down your face and you call it a day. It's not like it's unhealthy for you. It's turkey.
Yeah,
right,
fair enough.
All right.
Shout out those.
That wraps up the draft. So there will be polls on Twitter and Instagram at Barroom Boys for both. We do episodes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Stay tuned for more. Definitely going to be incorporating interviews in the future, all kinds of different segments. Keep us posted with like any criticism you guys have, anything you want to see. We'll definitely be looking into it. But that wraps up episode 1. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.